Hello everyone and welcome to OEM Update Magazine's interactive session on embracing aerospace manufacturing competencies. Aerospace is a high technology industry involved in building aircraft and manufacturing aircraft parts for maintenance used for civil, military and space transport. It is engaged in the R&D and manufacturing of flight vehicles, drones, airplanes, military aircrafts, rocket and missile systems, space launch vehicles and spacecrafts. Technologies like adoption of robotic process automation, digital twins, 3D printing for manufacturing, optimizing and upgrading in the aerospace industry is gaining better prominence. On this note, today we have come together to witness an engaging interactive session on embracing aerospace manufacturing competencies. Now, let me also thank Tata Tele Business Services, India's leading enterprise mobility voice and internet data service providers, for their support as a sponsor for this event.
Before we start with the panel discussion, I would like to thank our distinguished set of experts on panel today, comprising Mr. Priyesh Mehta, Director, Imagineria, Mr. Ashik Apanna, Head of Key Accounts at Carlsys India, IQS Division, Mr. Ramesh Kumar Shankaran, AGM Marketing, Godrej Aerospace, Mr. Shinto Joseph, Director, Southeast Asia Operations, LDRA Technologies Private Limited, Mr. Shankar Narayanan, Vertical Market Manager, Aerospace and Defense at Siemens. Well, gentlemen, Mr. Ashik Panna, I would like to start with you. Digital technology is the current focus, with perspective on industrial quality solutions and strategies for global aerospace. Share insights about the upcoming trends in aerospace metrology for manufacturing processes and benefits during and beyond pandemic period. Mr. Ash.
When you look at all this current situation where we need digital solutions, we in Carlsys, we have implemented in line with Industry 4 solutions. We have certain softwares which connect the machines which go by, and not only when when you're working on the machine, on one end you have to have the machine running, and the second end you also have to have some people busy. So we have some softwares and we have some connectivity with respect to other machines, where once the program is running and the machine is running, the output directly goes to the concerned person, and then these output can be uploaded into the cloud function and can be viewed at any part of the world. Suppose if you have when it comes to aerospace, you have these big giants like Boeing and Airbus. They would have some vendors out in India, and one thing when it's easy is when customers have machines, the programs and the interchangeable can happen easily, and over a very quick period of time. And if the person here who's a supplier to Boeing wants to match the results or work with the customer in the Western world, can be easily communicated through the digital means as we have. And also with respect to reporting and everything, he can match and he can work on the solutions required based on what the customer needs. Is what we see.
Thank you, Mr. Ashik. That makes a lot of sense. When we talk about emerging technology opportunities, Mr. Shinto Joseph, I'm coming to you. Indian space has ample opportunities, be it civil or defense. With increasing number of aircrafts, safety becomes a priority. Do the software embedded systems sound alert about impending risks, and how safety certification methodologies would be of use? Mr. Shinto Joseph.
Safety is close to my heart. I've been in this field for years. We need to see that from two angles. One is the Indian context, where we normally take chalta hai attitude. We are okay with safety in India. The mindset issue. Globally, that is not the way. Everything starts with safety. And but of late, we are seeing an increasing trend towards people are taking safety more seriously. And if you really want to convert India as a manufacturing base for aerospace, we need to get that safety culture as a practice for everybody. Because every global OEM, first thing what they ask is, what is your internal practice? Are you complying to so and so safety standards? Because they're really worried about the safety implications. In case there is an accident, there is a huge penalty on them. It's not only just reputation, there's a business risk also involved. So broadly, you can say the civil is more worried about safety. Defense, when it comes to, they are a little more relaxed. For example, we have the Indian space program launching the human space program. There, probably you may not have to go to the extreme civil certification. So you can have a little bit of relaxation on certain ground, but safety is paramount. And everybody, I always recommend that, every work you should start with this safety in mind. Then you are there in aerospace. Otherwise, you are not there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shinto, for apprising our viewers the importance of safety practices. While talking about safety, integrations of various functions also raise a lot of challenges. And while dealing with emerging trends, Mr. Priyesh Mehta, additive manufacturing is incidental to creating lighter components and parts and supports aerospace manufacturing. Is there any inspection standard as a solution that maximizes operational performance, improving defect density, and integrating competencies in manufacturing? Mr. Priyesh.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Gopal. Good evening, everyone, and I hope you are keeping safe. Very, glad to share the, dais with such august, company of panelists. As you rightly said, Mr. Anand, that additive manufacturing or 3D printing is really changing the way how manufacturers, right from OEMs and tier 1, tier 2 suppliers as well, are producing complex parts. And whenever we talk about complex parts, we all know that aerospace is the most highly regulated industry, apart from medical, which manufacturers work with. So whenever you're dealing with regulations, inspection is always key, and whenever you have inspection, obviously you're going to talk about what is the porosity level, what is the mechanical strength, what is the physical and mechanical and chemical properties overall. So techniques like reverse engineering, spectroscopy, CT scan, right? All these techniques definitely help people like us who are producing parts for the aerospace industry via metal additive manufacturing qualify for FAA and other certifications.
Additive manufacturing gives aerospace manufacturers the freedom to produce parts on demand also. That's right. Moreover, technology transformation is the key, Mr. Shankar Narayanan. As the technologies such as cloud, robotics, or artificial intelligence are enabling transformations across aerospace industry too. Besides engineering urban air mobility to reduce traffic, what others, the digitalization for aero manufacturing can be of advantage in outgoing pandemic crisis. Mr. Shankar Narayanan.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Mr. Gopal, and good evening to one and all, and my fellow panelists and the organizers. It's a very good question on the aspect of digitalization. What we can name it as digitalization in terms of manufacturing. So aerospace component manufacturing or aerospace industry as such is going through a phenomenal transformations. Right from the early 70s and till today, if you compare, the transformation is tremendous. We speak about different revolutions, industrial revolutions, and currently we are in the industrial revolution 4.0. What does it affect over here in the manufacturing? So that's what we are going to see over here. You design a part which was not the same way which was 20 years back for the same aircraft. Today, the number of components and the technology has increased. Newer technologies are coming into picture, like my fellow panelist mentioned about the additive manufacturing. That's also the newer technology in terms of the aerospace component manufacturing. You start from a part design. You are integrating your engineering and planning team together with the production team. There should be a synchronization happening or a handshakes happening between different departments in aerospace industry. So that is what we say it as. Even there is a change in the design, which is found out at the production level. This can be directly communicated back to the design team. So newer areas, you rightly pointed it out. The urban mobility is day by day increasing, and in order to avoid traffic, the air mobility is the future. And other industries, if I need to mention it over here, the drones, which is predominantly used today, and which is applicable over here. And today we are going to see about in a short information about how this newer technology, how effectively you can manage the automation and the digitalization part in your manufacturing. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shankar Narayanan, for your valuable insight into digital transformation, including aerospace in future in a big way. Standing as gain out of global crisis we are into currently, Mr. Ramesh Shankaran. If we consider pandemic as gateway to opening opportunity, we want Atmanirbharta, which in many of the applicable ways is contributing to manufacturing. How do you view at DRDO technologies, embargo lists, etc., or more developments as the emerging opportunities to aid manufacturing? Mr. Ramesh, please.
So first of all, thanks so much to be invited for this panel discussion. It's a pleasure to be here, and along with the August gathering of panelists. So with regards to the way it has happened over the last 1 year, we've all seen something which has happened once in a lifetime, right? The COVID-19 pandemic. So it has affected a lot of things. The global civil aviation was down. But we see the domestic sector has really, seen a lot of momentum gathering over the last year. The government's Make in India initiative, especially for aerospace and defense sectors, for the last year has certainly gathered momentum. The opening up of the defense sector to privatization through defense reforms has given Indian companies a lot of opportunities to prove themselves. One of the first steps that was there towards this Atmanirbhar Bharat program was actually the banning of 101 list of items last year, which will be banned over progressively over a period of time for import. Subsequently, this year, the government has come up with a positive list of 108 items. So in total, about 209 items have been banned for import over a period of time. So this gives a lot of opportunity for the private industries to look at the technologies required by the government and also, force themselves to start manufacturing them in a mass production for the government. It also brings a lot of clarity in terms of opportunities. The PPP model, the public-private partnership, is also being now encouraged in this particular setup. We also saw, DRDO sharing or declaring 108 technologies to be developed by the private industries. So this is again an opportunity for the private industry to participate and in making these particular equipments or developing these technologies, which will give them a lot of opportunities in future. So under this 108 technologies through the TDF, the Technology Development Fund scheme also, if you develop this, you are not only, if you're successful, you will get the production orders also subsequently. So these are very good steps which has really forged gathered a lot of momentum over the last 1 year. Also, we see a lot of policy support otherwise also from the government. We also see a lot of, the MSMEs, which are actually a very important part of this particular supply chain. Almost 80% of the parts are manufactured in the domestic sector by the MSMEs for the assemblies for these particular projects. So, but they were not actually, and they had a lot of challenges in terms of infrastructure and the funding, etc. But with the policy initiatives, the government has set aside 50,000 crores for the MSMEs, disallowed global tenders for procurement up to 200 crores, mandated BPSUs to buy up to 25% of the total requirements from MSME, offset multipliers, and other liberal policies. So also we see the state governments also giving a lot of support to the MSMEs. So in total, we see a lot of support coming from MSMEs also in that way. So overall, while the civil aerospace sector has seen a lot of reduction in schedules, like up to 40% is the reduction in schedules, and we see the sector getting back to normalcy only by say around 2023. That's the prediction now. But we see the domestic sector has suddenly gained a lot of prominence. We also see that Indian space sector is unlocking potential for the private sector to participate. So we see in overall a lot of opportunities that are coming up, especially in the defense sector, and a lot of policy support for that.
Once again, let me thank Tata Tele Business Services, India's leading enterprise mobility, voice, and internet data service providers, for the continuous support as a sponsor for this event.
May I request Mr. Ramesh, can you give a closing statement for this session?
A very insightful session. In fact, it's a learning session for me too, actually, to listen to others and hear from them and what they do and the kind of solutions they're providing and the activities they're doing. It's really, really amazing. As I started with the opportunities, I must say that it's not been. I mean, we were never provided with opportunities in the past. A lot of things actually was being discussed, but more action has come now, and I think the key is to how we take it forward from here. So opportunities are going to be there. Now, how manufacturing can aid that, that is going to be the key. And I think all the panel speakers who spoke today did make a very interesting points as to how they can aid that and how they can take it forward. And I think that's the key. I thank you all for especially OEM Magazine for having invited me in particular and to have us on the panel. Thank you so much, and I would let the other speakers also just conclude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, surely. Thank you, Mr. Ramesh. And I also thank our sponsor once again. Let me thank Tata Tele Business Services, India's leading enterprise mobility, voice and internet data service providers for their continuous support as a sponsor for this event. So, we have a short video from them once again to share with you. So please, thank you.
Thank you, panelists, for exchanging your valuable thoughts on today's topic, Embracing Aerospace Manufacturing Competencies. Delegates, we hope you have enjoyed it. Before wrapping up today's session, we would like to thank our distinguished panelists, Mr. Ramesh Kumar Shankaran, Mr. Shankar Narayanan, Mr. Shinto Joseph, Mr. Priyesh Mehta, and Mr. Ashik Appanna. I'd also like to thank our editor, Mr. Prasad Nair, for taking this initiative. Would like our delegates and viewers to stay connected with us on our social media handles. OEM Update is available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Additionally, you can also download our app from Google Play and App Store. So with this, we would like to announce this closing of today's session. Request you to stay tuned for more such sessions. Thank you and goodbye.